Let's talk now about politics, Dr. Ntim Fordjour. This is NPP politics of January 31. You stand with Dr. Bawumia, do you? Do you see
Absolutely.
a threat of something changing?
Not at all. We are very confident that the very delegates who are calling for Dr. Bawumia to be presented again to Ghanaians will stay true and true to their promise. Because they are very poised, and these are very experienced politicians. Sometimes some people take delegates for granted and think that they don't know what they are talking. Delegates know what they are talking about. And delegates are calling for Dr. Bawumia. Delegates are seizing. Some of them got into politics way before some of us members of parliament came into politics. And so they understand the dynamics. When they go to the grounds, when they go to the streets, when they visit the markets, when they're going to their farms, in their schools, wherever they apply their endeavors, what they hear, the comment they hear is that Dr. Bawumia is the surest candidate to win us power in 2028. I have a very fantastic relationship with all the contestants, all the other 4 contestants. You know, Honorable Kennedy Japan is my own brother. Honorable Dr. Duchum was my boss at Ministry of Education. Honorable Dr. Brian Lechampon is my very good friend. And Engineer Kwabena Japan is a man I admire so much. I have a very fantastic relationship with all of them. And Paul, I say to you that even the weakest among them is much stronger than the strongest among those who want to lead NDC after President John Mahama. So indeed we have the men. But at this point in time, we are talking about power. You see, there's a reason why President Mahama garnered less than 40%. If you check the figures, in 2016, he was a sitting president, but he got less than 40%.
They got 44%.
In 2016.
Yeah.
You can check the figures again. It was less. In 2024, he didn't even get up to, the numbers indicate around 42%, if I'm right. You see, so he started from somewhere. He lost over 1 million votes. The dynamics at the time did not want him. And then, as time went on, NDC saw that, no, we need to understand why we lost. If we don't understand why we lost, we will change the candidates and miss the point. So anyone who in MPP at this point in time thinks that we need to change our candidates and that our candidate was the reason why we lost has failed to understand the reason why Ghanaians voted us out. If you really take time to appreciate why the Ghanaian voter rejected MPP in 2024, you would want to now take steps to respond to, if you call it, some weaknesses or shortfalls or certain things we did which didn't really sit well with the Ghanaian, which has nothing to do with the candidate you presented. So if you take time to correct those things and you take time to form a solid policy alternative that is credible with consistent candidates, then you're sure that you're going to win. But if you change your candidate, you have missed a point. Dr. Bawumia stands tall among all the candidates that we have. Dr. Bawumia is the most experienced in terms of public service, over 8 years as vice president, and not just any ordinary vice president, the highest performing vice president, not only in the country, but in the SAP region. And he is a man that has sacrificed for the grassroots. When we're talking about, some people say we want somebody who's very bold. What is more bold than someone when we needed someone to stand in Supreme Court, in the witness box for 8 months, and we had none. We had astute lawyers, we had astute businessmen, we had very wealthy people, we had highly respected people, but when we had none, it was Dr. Bawumia who stepped in. And he put his reputation on the line. He could have ended his political career with that step. But he sustained it because of his love for the grassroots. He took the bullet for the party. He had to go around various campuses connecting. So if we are talking about somebody who cuts across, none of these fine gentlemen cuts across the section of our population, differences of opinion, more than Dr. Bawumia. So let's put religion aside. Let's put tribal sentiment aside. Let's put personal, and idiosyncrasies aside. And if we are rationally and objectively looking for power, then if you change this fantastic candidate, Dr. Bawumia, you have missed the point. And you are going to even suffer worse defeat than that. If you go into 2028 post today. Let me just take you back in history. In 2000, when people went to post, they liked President Jerry John Rawlings so much that in 92 they voted overwhelmingly for him. 96 they voted for him against President Kufuor. 2000 when they went to the post, they couldn't find that fine gentleman again. Now they saw, oh, but yeah, we've seen President Kufuor. He's come to us before. We like him. We're not ready for him in the last 4 years. But 2000, President Jerry is not around. He is going to be the one. Though we know President Mills had been the vice president, he's just appeared on it. Let's give him some time. They voted for him. So in the same way, it went on and on. In recent one President Mahama, a president who had suffered the worst defeat a certain president had ever, suffered. He came again. And the people saw that in 2024, President Kufuor is not on the ballot. They have heard his songs, they've seen his T-shirts, they've seen his billboards, and it's President Mahama again, who has appeared about 3 times already, and this is the 4th time, and he's come to their village, he's come to meet them nationwide. So they know him. Dr. Bawumia, yes, he's vice president, just like President Mills was vice president. This is the first time he's appearing. And so let President Mahama come in at this point in time. Another time, he will come in. If you visit if 2 people are walking, an NDC man, an MPP man, and they are wearing a party T-shirts, they are very much likely to wear President Mahama's T-shirts and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's T-shirts. As they walk around, whether you're going to the farm or going to the streets or going to church or going to the markets, who are they marketing? They are marketing President Mahama and they are marketing Dr. Bawumia. These are the 2 most marketed political figures of our time now. And so if you go into, and it's going to continue till 2028. So when you go into 2028 and fancy a situation where any of the leading persons they are projecting in NDC becomes the flag bearer, he is now going to sell himself even to his own party people and to sell himself to floating voters and to sell himself to the whole of Ghana, to every village and every hamlet and town, urban area in this country. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has already been marketed, and people they know him, they are familiar with him, and his idea of job creation, his idea of empowering grassroots, his idea of ensuring we transform our economic fortunes and events have all exonerated him. Now, good for reserve, for instance, even NDC stalwarts credited to Dr. Bawumia.
Yes,
good for oil, they credited to him. And even the very foundation that is sustaining the exchange rate, they credited to him. If not for Dr. Bawumia's idea to ensure we accumulate about 30 tons of gold, how could they have come to accumulate only 1 ton of gold in 1 year to have that kind of stability in exchange rates? And so when a man whose idea, one single idea, created over 900,000 jobs, those in the mobile money market, 900,000 jobs. So we are not talking about a few tens or hundreds of jobs. We are talking about jobs at a mass scale. So he has demonstrated before, and Ghanaians have the confidence, stakeholders have the confidence in him. And that is why I'm a pastor, and I'm a Khan. And I say that it's not about Khan, it's not about being a Christian or being a pastor, but it's about the most competent. It's about the winnable and the most formidable. And I find Dr. Bawumia checking all those boxes. And with the greatest of respect to all the 4 fine gentlemen, one of whom is my friend, and 3 of whom are my very good friends.
Now, the question about religion is important. So let me ask you, you're a Reverend Minister. There's been prophecies from your colleague pastors, both ways, but there's been prophecies that Kennedy Japan will be elected by Bernard Nelson. Ishen is a prophet. And there's been prophecies by Roger that Dr. Bawumia will be elected. There's been other prophecies by other people that Dr. Bawumia will be elected. Many people are confused that the same God of Abraham who spoke to Prophet X and Y and said this one is going to win. It happened in 2024. Some prophets said Dr. Bawumia was going to win, he didn't win. And some prophets said John Mahama was going to win, and he won. Should we take these things serious from the perspective of your background as a Reverend Minister?
See, in the Bible, you would recall an incident that happened where a young prophet was sent by God to a certain location with a specific instruction. He heard from God. He got there, finished his assignment, he was not supposed to eat anything. He was just supposed to return. Because that's what God told him. He heard from God. Then when he got there, another prophet, in this case, even a senior prophet, more senior prophet, told him that, no, you are saying God told you should do so, so, and so. But, you know, God has spoken to me. I'm also a senior prophet, and God has spoken to me that you should eat. And coming into an era where one God seems to have spoken to two people and giving them two opposite directions, this is not the first time. This is not the first time at all. But only one will be true. At the end of the day,
so God spoke to both of these in
this case,
Bible reference.
They all claimed that God spoke to them.
Who had God spoken to?
But in the end, it turned out that God had only spoken to one, and when he disobeyed, he got consumed.
So the other one who said he heard from God did not hear from God.
No, did not.
So it's not straightforward to hear from God. You can be deceived. You can think you've heard when you didn't hear.
So in this case, it turned out that the older prophet had not heard from God, but he said that he had heard from God.
What was his interest in saying this prophet should eat?
Because he had an interest in defining what the assignment the gentleman had brought. So people have various interests.
Oh, but that's deliberate. That's deliberate. So, not that he thought he heard. He knew he hadn't heard.
So that is a typical scenario where two prophets, one younger and even one older, have all claimed that God has given us instructions related to one action. And then in the end, only one proved to be true. So in the end, all these prophecies, only one will prove to be true. And that lies in the womb of 31st January. And so sometimes I even lost count of the number of people who said so and so. Though I counted more people who said Dr. Bawumia was going to win, prophesied that Dr. Bawumia is going to win, than. But I'm a pastor, but I don't want to go into the prophetic review. I think there's an office at the Jubilee House that reviews these prophecies. Maybe
they've taken it down.
Maybe they can do a better job at that. But religion, see, in Isaiah chapter 45, Cyrus was not Jew. Cyrus was in modern day Iran, and he was not Jew. And even though he was not Jew, the Bible says that God said that Cyrus, my anointed, and Cyrus, you are the one I have chosen and appointed to lead my people out of exile, my people Israel, to liberate them. Even though you have not known me, I have chosen you. And God empowered him. And God was with him, and he anointed him. And indeed, he won victory and led the God's chosen people, the Jews, the Israelites, out of exile in that situation. So if God can, use a non-Jew, a non-Christian from modern day Iran, in Cyrus, and even call him my anointed, and even come down in the further down verses 4 or 5 to say, even though you have not known me, I have chosen you. He proves the point in the New Testament that God is no respecter of persons. God is no respecter of persons. He can choose anyone he so wishes, anoint him to lead his people, and his people will prosper. So I want us to look at it from that perspective. And I say again that all the other four honorable Ken Japan, my own very good brother, we have a fantastic relationship. He's a great man. He's supported. He's done amazing things for the party. Same for my boss, Dr. Educhum. He did a great job at Ministry of Education. Honorable Dr. Brian is a great, fantastic businessman. He has a PhD, about 3 masters, very learned, very, very knowledgeable, very bold, and generous too. We have Honorable Engineer, Dr. Engineer Kwabena Japan, who was very experienced in the party, former General Secretary. He speaks so well, I admire him. But I'm saying that at this point, it's about who is the most marketed, the most formidable, and the winnable. And I think that's my appeal to my people, that within this few weeks or few 17 days, so 31st, well, whatever may have happened, let us ensure less acrimony. Let's rather identify, look, NDC is here. We are busy knocking our heads, and they are busy, smuggling in LGBT into. They are busily making losses at Gold Board over 2.4 billion cedi. These are the things we should be busy talking about and be projecting our alternative, and be less on acrimonies and the insult and trying to destroy this and pulling in this down. At the end of the day, when one wins, all of us are expected to come together and to market that person. So personal hatred and malices should be set aside, and let's look at who will win us, who is better suited to win us power going into 2028. I think that is Dr. Bawumia.
Thank you.